You have x minus 1 minus x minus 1 whole square plus a x minus a. Okay, now you see you have an x minus 1 here. You have x minus 1 repeated here because the power is 2. And also you see that if you group these two terms together, ax minus a, what you see is that from this, if you take a as the HCF,
Yes, sir.
you'll get
It will
x
be x
minus
minus
1,
one.
isn't it? This much you can do mentally, right?
Yes, sir.
So what you do is you
Well,
see, what you see is that you are getting x minus 1 here, x minus 1 repeated factor. Also you are getting x minus 1 here. So you are getting x minus 1, which you can take out very easily, right? So what you do is you group the last two terms together. You write x minus 1 whole square as x minus 1 into x minus 1, and you group these two together, ax minus a. So x minus 1 minus x minus 1 into x minus 1 plus, now from these two you take out the HCF, which is a, to get x minus 1. So now you're getting x minus 1 throughout. You understanding or not?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now, yes, any
Yes,
question?
sir.
Any question?
No, sir. No, sir.
No question. Okay. So now I can take out x minus 1 from all the three terms. This one, this x minus 1 I can take out. 1x minus 1 I can take out from here. And 1x minus 1 I can take out from here. If I am taking out x minus 1 from this, I'm only left with 1, isn't it? From x minus 1, if I take out x minus 1, I'm only left with 1 minus. And from this repeated factor, x minus 1 into x minus 1, if I take out just one x minus 1, I'm left with x minus 1. See that I've maintained the bracket because x minus 1 is an expression, not a variable. Okay. Also, if I take out x minus 1 from here, I'm left with plus a. And then I close the curly brackets. X minus 1. And now I open the brackets within the curly brackets. 1 minus x, and this minus, since I'm opening the bracket, this minus changes to plus. And this plus a we write as it is. So what you get is x minus
Yes, sir.
1.
Okay.
1 plus 1 becomes 2 minus x plus a. So this in because I have a curly bracket here and no parenthesis inside, so I simply replace the curly bracket by the parenthesis or the first bracket. Okay, understood? So this has been factorized into two factors. Yeah, important problem. And the last problem from this exercise. Ax plus a square x plus aby plus by minus ax plus by whole square. Okay. Now this problem is a little, I mean, what should I say? A little tricky. You see that you have how many terms? You have first, second, third, fourth, and fifth term. So there are only 5 terms. Okay. But what you also see that fifth term is within the bracket, right? And is also repeated. That means if I group, can group 2 at a time, these four, if I can group 2 at a time, and if I can say if I get something in ax plus by here and something in ax plus by here, and you already have an ax plus by whole square here, then it will it will be convenient because I'll be able to take out ax plus by. Did you understand this or not, or you want me to repeat?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Can you please repeat, sir?
So I have ax plus a square x, and you have a by right? You have this. Now see, you see that this is a repeated factor, right? Ax plus by whole square is ax plus by into ax plus by, isn't it? That is, this is ax plus by into ax plus by, isn't it? This one, only this one, right?
Yes, sir, because it is square.
So
Square
what?
it is written.
So
Yes, sir.
intuitively, what I can say is just guesswork. What I can say is that if I am able to group terms in such a way that grouping the first two or the first and the third, if I can get an ax plus by here, okay, and if I group the next two and get an ax plus by here, then I will get what? Ax plus by, and ax plus by into ax plus. So I'm getting ax plus by throughout, isn't it? So that now I can take out ax plus by out, right? I'm not working out. I'm simply thinking. Okay. Till now I'm only thinking. Understood? So what you do is, now that you have thought out, now let us try. This is the way you should be thinking, actually. That is why I am telling you. Okay. So let us group the first and the second together. So I have ax plus a square x, first and the second, and then I group the third and the fourth. And I keep this as it is. Or let me write ax plus by as ax plus by into ax plus by. Okay. Now see, the HCF between these two is simply ax, and if you're taking out ax from ax, you're left with 1 plus. And if you're taking ax out of a square x, you're left with only a. Again, from these two, the HCF of these two is by, and you're left with a plus 1 minus ax plus by into ax plus by. Now see, are we getting any common factor?
No.
Are we getting any common factor throughout?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm?
No, sir. No.
Yes, we are getting. We are not getting throughout, but between these two we are getting, isn't it? We are getting 1
Sir.
plus a here, and we are getting 1 plus a here, isn't it?
Yes.
So I keep this as it is. I don't do anything with this. And what I do is between these two, I take out 1 plus a. So if I take out 1 plus a, I'm only left with ax plus ax, and here I'm left with plus by.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, minus, and you write this as it is.
Like,
Now are you getting anything common? Yes. Now you are getting this ax plus by and this ax plus by, you are getting common, isn't it? You are getting this ax plus by and this ax plus by. Mute your background sounds. Mute your background sounds.
Bobby.
So you have ax plus by here and you have ax plus by here. So let us take ax plus by out. So if I take ax plus by out from this product, I'm only left with 1 plus e. Okay, let me introduce curly brackets. So I'm left with, because this is an expression, 1 plus a. And if I take ax plus by out, this ax plus by out, I'm left with only this ax plus by. So I'll write ax plus by. Now this is done. So you have ax plus by. Okay, and within the curly brackets, you open the parenthesis or the first bracket, 1 plus a minus ax minus by. So this has been factorized. Ax
So I did not understand from step 3.
From step 3. From first, second, this step. You mean this step, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Let us try it once more. Who, Kripa? Who is that? Kripa?
No, sir.
No, sir, I'm Saloni.
Aloni. Okay. Let's try it out again from that step. So what you do is you take out this step. You understood, right?
Yes, sir.
We have actually these 4 terms we have grouped, and we have factorized these 4 terms. We have factorized these 4 terms. We are able to factorize here. Okay. So from these 2, I take out 1 plus a. So I'm left with ax here. I'm left with plus by here, right? And this is ax plus by into ax plus by. Okay. Now what I do is, just for your understanding, uh, suppose I have let ax plus by is equal to z. I take ax plus by is equal to z. So this expression becomes 1 plus a into z minus z into z, which is z square, right? So now from these 2, I can take out z as the ACF. Let's take out z. So I'm left with 1 plus a minus, if I take out z from z square, I'm only left with z. Okay, now put back the value of z, ax plus by 1 plus a minus ax plus by. Now you understood.
Yes, sir.
So now you open the brackets. Okay. And finally, you get your answer as, you change the curly brackets to your first bracket, ax plus by into 1 by plus a minus x minus by. Fine. Understood?
Yes, sir.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
So we have finished grouping. Whatever problems I've done, any other problem from your textbook, you can ask. Okay. Let me just introduce algebraic identities, factorization by algebraic identities to you. Okay. Just say 1 or 2 problems. Let me start with the simplest one. This is the next second method that I'm discussing, which is factorization by algebraic identities. We are going to use what identities? We are going to use a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square in this. Okay, so let us try this first. If you see this expression, you see this is a perfect square, isn't it? Because this can be written as x whole square. You see that this is also a perfect square. So the extreme terms are perfect squares, right or not?
Yes, sir.
If you see the extreme terms to be perfect square, then the first idea that should come to your mind is that this is my a squared term, this is my b squared term. Now the question is, what will happen to this term, to ab? This term must be this. If this is your a squared term, if this is your a squared term, if this is your b squared term, this must be your 2ab term. Understood? If it is not, then we will not be able to factorize. But the main identification that you must make here is the extreme terms. That is, two terms are perfect squares or not. Okay, if two terms are perfect square, then the middle term has to be 2ab. If it is not 2ab, then it cannot be factorized. Is that absolutely clear? Or should I explain once again?
Not clear.
Anyone not clear? Anyone?
Sir, once again.
You have x square
Once more.
minus 12x plus 36. You see the extreme terms. What are the extreme terms? This term and this term are the extreme terms, isn't it? These are at the extremes. And you see that this is a perfect square because x square can be written as x whole square. And you see that 36 is also a perfect square. It can be written as 6
Yes,
square,
sir.
right? So if I take this term as my a square, this term as my b square, then what about the 2ab term? What about 2ab?
2ab.
This must be my 2ab, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if
Yes.
you are getting a square term, if you are getting b square term, the third term has to be the 2ab term. If it is not the 2ab term, then we will not be able to factorize. Understood?
Yes, sir.
It has to be the 2ab term. So let us see what happens here. What you see is, so first we realize that the first and the last terms are the extreme terms. So we write x square as x whole square. Okay, and we write 12x as it is. And we write 36 as 6 square. Now we simply need to check whether this is the 2ab term or not. Okay, so x whole square minus, so what is your a here? A here is x. What is the b here? B here is 6. So let me split this as 2 into a into b. Are we getting 12x or not?
Yes, so we are
We
getting
are getting.
12x.
That means this can be factorized. So plus
Yes, sir.
6 square. Now this is of the form what? A plus b or a minus b? You have a minus 2ab. So obviously this is a minus b whole square, which can also be written as a minus b into a minus b. So this term has been factorized into two factors. Yes, any problem now? You tell me. Any problem here?
No, sir.
If you understand this concept, it will become very easy. Let me discuss one more so that it becomes clearer. Then in the next class, I will discuss further. Okay, just last one here. 36
Okay, sir.
p square
No.
minus 60 pq plus 25 p square. Now you must check the extreme terms. What are the extreme terms? This can be written as 6p whole square.
It will be 25q square.
Okay, 25q square, fine. 25q square. Okay. So this clearly is what? Is this a perfect square? This can be written as 6p whole square, isn't it? And this can be written as 5q whole
5.
square,
Yes, sir.
right?
5q.
So both are perfect squares. That means this one can become my a squared term and this can become my b squared term, right? So now let's see. So I write this as 6p whole square and this term I write as it is. I will check it later whether this is a 2ab or not. And this is my 5q whole square. So clearly a here becomes my 6p, b becomes my 5q. So this is my a squared term. So I get a square. And I try to break this term. Minus 2. What is a? A is 6p. 2ab. B is 5q. Are we getting 60 or not? 60 pq?
Yes, sir.
We are getting. That means this
Yes,
can
sir.
be factorized. So plus b square. Now you tell me what form this is. A minus b or a plus b? This
A
2a,
minus B.
because there is a minus sign before 2ab. So this is clearly a minus
Minus b.
b whole square. So this expression has been factorized into 6p minus 5q into 6p minus 5q. Any questions here?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.